What's cooking, Juventus fans? Welcome back to your old lady's favorite YouTube channel. Latest breaking reports seem to suggest that Juventus have finally given Angel Di Maria an ultimatum. Make a decision by this weekend or we move on. But will they stick with it? Stick with us. We'll fill you in. Ciao ragazzi, welcome back to the Bianconeri Zone. My name is Justin Sofro, and welcome into an early edition of the Daily News Plus, which basically break down one of the most important topics of the day, and of course we got to talk about this given the ongoing situation that has been of Angel Di Maria. If you haven't already, make sure you smash that like button, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell icon to stay notified for all of our latest videos, and we're going to get into it, and we're going to talk about what is going on with Angel Di Maria. Latest reports have, from the very first one, is going from Di Marzio, who basically gives an update on the situation, saying Juventus changed their offer from a 2-year deal to a 1 + 1 year deal. There now is an opening from Di Maria's side. An answer is expected by the end of the week. So here is where I start off with this. From these updates, and from what we're saying with Juventus, they've changed their offer from a 2-year deal to a 1 + 1. Why do you believe that that's going to make a strong difference for him? What are the actual numbers? What's the financial backing? I understand you're not committing him to 2 years, but a 1 year plus an option. Here's the one thing we know. When it comes to Angel Di Maria, he wants 1 year. I know I've been harping on it. I know I've been staying pretty strong with this. But Angel Di Maria does not want to play for Juventus for long term. He does not want the 2 years. He wants 1 year and he's out of here. And if we're being honest, he probably wants 4 months here and he's out of here. Because what he wants is to play in the World Cup. And I don't fault him at all for that. At least he's very open and honest with what he wants. He's ready to go back to Argentina. He's ready to go, and he's ready to retire, do whatever it is that he's going to do with his life. But my problem with the situation is Juventus are dragging themselves along with this player, trying to convince him to play for 2 years. Obviously, there's a decree, but obviously Juventus also would like to have a player of his capability for 2 seasons. I don't see anything here that suggests to me that he will ever change his mind and decide to play for Juventus for more than 1 season. Again, I do have issues where I question the level of play that he will bring into Juventus following the Winter World Cup and what happens there. I hope that I'm proven wrong, and I'm hoping he comes out to play, and I'm hoping he gives it his all. But I'd say if you look at things, his performance for PSG compared to his performance in the Argentine national team, a little bit different, little disparity there. Of course, the issue is also PSG and Argentina, though filled with superstars, though both have Lionel Messi. Maybe he's not in the pecking order where he used to be. Anyway, but when it comes to this actual situation and how this is developing, it's come to the point where I'm thankful that Juventus are saying, hey, this is the ultimatum date. My problem with it is there have been rumors before that Juventus have said, hey, this is the ultimatum date. They said 24 or 48 hours. It turned to 72 hours. It turned into a week, maybe. I don't know how long it's been now. It feels like it's been like a week and a half, 2 weeks. And I know it hasn't been that long, but it feels like it's that long. When it comes to Mercado and it comes to decisions that need to be made, you can't let it continue to stretch out like this. A player like him who is not a serious piece of the future, if we're being honest. Again, I use the term mercenary to describe Angel Di Maria because that's what he is. When you're only coming in for 1 season and you're going to move on, that's a mercenary job. There's nothing derogatory about calling him a mercenary in that situation because that's what it is. And I understand it sounds bad, but it's being honest with what the complete setup will be for him and for the club overall. You're bringing in a guy who is a hired gun. You want him to fire off a few rounds, right? You want him to come in, score some goals for your team, and then he's free to go. But that is what it is. That's a mercenary. We'll see how this continues to develop, though. But at this point, Juventus, I understand what you're doing, and I understand why. Yeah, Angel Di Maria in his best, at his highest, at his ultimate level of output, as in he's giving his all, the most hustle, grinta, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, he is leaps and bounds probably better than a lot of the options you have out there that Juventus are currently looking at. But at the same time, again, it just feels like you're just dragging along a guy who just doesn't really want it, that doesn't have that same fire, that doesn't have that same will. I know he'll do it for his country because it's different. I get it, and I get it as a fan of the Italian national team. I love Juventus and I love the Italian national team, and those are the two things that really that I bought into. But the problem is Di Maria doesn't have that connection to Juventus. He has that for the Italian national team. The Argentine national team. He'll show up for that one. He'll put on for that one. Is he going to put on for Juventus? I don't know. And I understand you can tell me, Alejandro, you can tell me that he's a professional and that you believe in him and you think he's going to come up and do his job. I hope you're right. But there's plenty of times, you know who else is a professional? Cristiano Ronaldo. And there's plenty of times in the last season that he played for Juventus that I felt like he didn't show up and he didn't put in the effort. And I don't think anybody would argue and say that if anybody, approaches the game in a professional manner, it's Cristiano Ronaldo. And I don't think he gave it all for Juventus. And I know he didn't give it all for Juventus. So that's why in this situation, I am not one who really cares that much to be hamstrung to a player like Angel Di Maria. That's my opinion on him right now. That's the update from Di Marzio. There's another part of it. Let's continue on. And that's Nico Schiera, who also said similar kind of structure, basically what he said. Di Maria and Juventus, €7 million annual option offer is anticipated on Tuesday. All bad feelings, cold tracks, and negotiations were never there. So I had to clarify that for myself because I read that at first and I thought it said, all we're expecting are all bad feelings, cold tracks, and negotiations were never there. And as in, all bad feelings, cold tracks, and now negotiations were never there. That's how I read it. I think it is more overall just clarifying that all the negative feelings around it were not there. I think that's what it's saying. I could be wrong. Maybe sometimes translation issues come up, but I think that's what I'm taking from this. He's the first choice. Timing of the response of the weekend also confirmed. As we know, yeah, of course he's the first choice. And there's a lot of aspects of this that I'm coming about it. And I do want to talk about it. I want to talk about it, especially when we get into the live streams. And when I'm back on there, I know I've been out of it the last week. Got some stuff here going on. I'll be back on, I promise, guys. But one of the topics that I really want to talk about is Max Allegri's involvement in this Mercado. One of the things we really mentioned before when he came in to Juventus last season, at the beginning of last season, was his involvement. One of the contract details was basically granting him involvement in the Mercado, granting him power in the Mercado, making his choices, making his calls to the players that he wants. I'm gonna pop this off so you can actually see the beautiful horse behind me because I never let it sit there for a while. One of the things is about him is that he's supposed to have that kind of play. He's supposed to be able to do that. The only issue is this is the first time I'm seeing what's rumored out there, him actually stepping up and taking charge of that. And what I've heard is that Max Allegri says this is the player that he wants. And this is a player that he thinks that it's going to be a game changer for Juventus. And it may be. He may be. My only issue is because it seems like they've been so beholden to this player and they've been trying to bend every way they can to try to get him to say yes. I understand we're not Barcelona, we're not Spain, which for some reason he and his family really want to be there. But Max Allegri, outside of all of that, outside of reading that he doesn't want to be here, outside of reading that it's a one-year thing, outside of that he still wants a lot more money even though he's going to play for one season, and he doesn't want to do anything to really help Juventus while they're trying to save some money because of the I'm always bad with the terminology when it comes to the deal, the clause, whatever. the clause with Italy. It's late when I'm recording this. I apologize, guys. Anyway, that he's still willing to jump through hoops to try to bring Angel Di Maria. I'm hoping it's a correct choice by him. If not, the implications of that are not good. The reason I mean is the implications of what it has for Juventus moving forward. You're going to have to look forward to what other pieces are Juventus going to have to look to following the potential collapse of negotiations with Angel Di Maria. If that were to happen, you're looking at names that have been floated out there. Zaniolo, I'm hyping my boy Zaniolo. But at the same time, the financial figures, all the stuff that goes along with that, it'd be nice. I understand there's been meetings that have gone on, but Juventus' main focus have been all on Di Maria. Meaning they're not really working right now on the deal with Zaniolo. They're not working on Bernardi, who's the name that's floated out there. There's Kostic. And I hear rumors that Kostic is not associated with Di Maria, yada, yada, yada. If that's the case, and you really do want Kostic, a player who's going to be 30 years old by the midseason of this year when he's coming to Juventus, and I know they have a deal worked out, the financial figures with him, why has the trigger not been pulled there? If he's not associated with Di Maria, why is the trigger not been pulled? And I understand. I think, to me personally, I think it's because he is associated with Di Maria. He is a secondary option to Di Maria, as are these other guys who float out there. But my issue is when we finally make a decision on the future, as in Di Maria comes in here. Say he does come in for the season. Say my worst case scenario is he shows up, plays for a few months, not overly impressive, does his thing, goes to the World Cup, lays his heart on the field, and then he comes out and he's living his Italian vacation. Problem is, you get to the end of the season next year, and I don't believe Di Maria will ever agree to the +1. I don't. I think he is good. I understand maybe Juventus think, and I understand. I love Juventus. You love Juventus if you're on the channel, more than likely. There are other people, fans of other teams that come on here, Barcelona fans, whoever, fans of whatever, that aren't Juve fans. So yeah, you may not understand the love thing. But I understand the love for the club. The problem is this is business to these people. And his business is, I'm ready to retire. I'm ready to go back to Argentina, ready to go play for maybe my boyhood club or whatever, and just write out my days so now I can go enjoy time with family in my home country. And I understand that, and I get it. But I don't know if Juventus are thinking, we can get him in here. We just have to get him in for a visit. As in he has to be here and has to live the life of a Juventini, of a Bianconero. And then realize, oh, hey, I want to be here for another year. This is amazing. The fans love me, whatever. I think there's a little bit of that, but I just don't know if a mercenary season is going to be anything that's really going to convince him that he'll do 2 years at Juve. That's my personal opinion. That's my soapbox when it comes to this. I just feel like all the drama, all the nonsense that's been going on with this has gone on for too long. And I think Juventus have finally agreed with that, and hopefully they put their foot down and say, as we've heard, as has been reported, that this weekend is the deadline. 48 hours from earlier today, or earlier yesterday, actually, when I recorded this, obviously. And that's it. And either you're a Juventus player, we sign you, or we move on. And I think it's time that Juventus, either way, puts it behind them and moves on. Deal or no deal. Here we go, or no, here we go. That's what we need to know. So let me know your thoughts on that in the comment section down below. What do you think about it when it comes to Di Maria, the situation there at Juventus? Are you tired of the whole drama that's been going on back and forth? The push and pull, the Juve wanting him kind of saying, you're pretty, but you're not that pretty. I don't know if I really want to commit to you. You're great side option, that kind of thing. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. One other little piece real quick right now. The Paul Pogba Pogmentary dropped on Amazon Prime. Saw a little bit of it. I know we have our guys working tirelessly behind the scenes to crack that one. I think Gianotti just got through with it. I'm sure he'll have his thoughts. We'll talk about it in the live later today. But basically, he got through all 5 episodes, reported it into me. Basically, just kind of, it was just kind of more of obviously it's a Pogba love fest. It's kind of this is Paul Pogba, the player. We love Paul Pogba. It's a Pogmentary. Of course, it's going to be that. At the same time, it's just saying, hey, he needs this good situation where he's going to fit in well, be loved on a little bit, and then he can be successful, and the sky's the limit kind of thing. I think it's also kind of a side-eye, bleep you to Manchester United, if we're being honest. But also just kind of save you guys some time if you haven't watched it yet, and if you maybe only want to watch it for one reason. He does not confirm where he's going during the Pogmentary. In all 5 episodes, none of them does he make an announcement. There's no post-credit scene a la Marvel or anything like that. It's just a Pogba love fest, and that's what it is. That's what it is. I think a lot of this probably more. I thought maybe if they did it, being that it came out now, you'd make that announcement, but it probably is also just a little bit more smoke and mirrors to draw attention to it, so people would watch it and take it in, which is fine. Do your business, my guy. I get it. But anyway, really was hoping there'd be something there, more Juventus, like, oh, it's done, it's finalized. But we know it's finalized anyway. He's going to be a Juventus player. Anyway, guys, that'll do it for this edition of the early, Daily News Plus. If you haven't already, please hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, hit the bell icon to stay notified on all of our latest videos. If you haven't already, leave a comment in the comment section down below, letting me know your thoughts on all the topics we talked about today. Otherwise, we'll see you guys next time. Forza Juve, Forza Bianconeri.